Welcome to GripeCast with your host, Alex Hernandez. This show is dedicated to consumer technology news and pop culture. GripeCast is owned by Techaeris. Visit Techaeris.com for the latest tech reviews, news, entertainment, and pop culture. Now sit tight, the show's about to begin. All right, welcome to the least listened to podcast on the internet. This is GripeCast, episode 46. And what is today? Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, January 2nd. Happy New Year, guys. Hopefully you guys had a great New Year and a great Christmas. Crazy things happening in the world. This isn't the podcast for that. What this podcast is for those of you who are in the elite of the world listening here, because we are the least listened to podcast on the internet, and that makes you very, very special because you are attending this podcast, whether you're watching or you're listening. Make sure that you hit the subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell, all those things you see down below here. It says do these things please. I hate having to ask every time because I feel like I'm begging. I don't want to beg. That's not what I'm trying to do, but it does help with the algorithms, unfortunately. And while we are the least listened to podcast on the internet, we would like a few more people to listen. Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. But yeah, it is. Thursday, January 2nd, and in a few days I will be heading out to CES 2025 in Las Vegas, and I can't remember which number this is, either 8, 9, or 10 CESs that I've attended. I'm a CES vet, so I love the show. I love going. I love seeing new stuff. I love interacting with people there. It's a good time. I don't like to travel, never like traveling, but I do like going to CES. So make sure you stay tuned. I will be posting stuff on Techaeris.com regarding CES. It won't be as quick and, frequent as in past years, since I am doing it alone. I don't have anyone to put out articles and kind of stay on top of that. So, and a lot of my time will be used walking around and talking and doing things at CES. So, it does get difficult, but I will try my best. So make sure that you check the site even after CES for more CES news as I continue to cover it. But I wanted to get a podcast out this week because I know this December and January are really, really busy for me, and I've been falling behind on videos and podcasts and trying to get things out. But I'm at least wanting to get one podcast a week out, even during the busy times. And this is definitely a busy time for tech and for me. So today, what do we have on the docket for today? We have Chrome extensions we're going to talk about, and more Google News. Google News as far as search goes. And if you are a longtime listener of GripeCast, you will know that I started this podcast because of Google and their search issues that I had to deal with, and that is going to be one of the topics of today's show. So, but let's get into Chrome extensions. Chrome extensions are a funny thing. Chrome is a funny thing. I stopped using Chrome. I use Firefox, and sometimes I'll use Brave. So those are my two primary browsers now, and those both have extensions as well. But Chrome has been progressively getting worse over the years, because Chrome is the most used browser right now, it gets targeted quite often, and Chrome extensions are part of that. So Chrome extensions do get targeted. That goes for any Chromium-based browser. If you're using these Chrome extensions on a Chromium-based browser, you are a potential risk too. So just keep that in mind. So if you're using Brave and you have any of these extensions, you may be affected as well. So headline from the Hacker News says dozens of Chrome extensions hacked, exposing millions of users to data theft. A new attack campaign has targeted known Chrome browser extensions, leading to at least 35 extensions being compromised and exposing over 2.6 million users to data exposure and credential theft. Because these Chrome extensions, often they require permissions in order to function. Yeah, that they'll need permissions to access certain data on your browser. So they can be compromised, and you can have leaks this way. So, article continues on to say the attack targeted publishers of browser extensions on the Chrome Web Store via a phishing campaign and used their access permissions to insert malicious code into legitimate extensions in order to steal cookies and user access tokens. So it looks like this started through publishers of the extensions. So sometimes the publisher of an extension isn't the actual developer. Sometimes people have extensions built by a developer and then they publish them, and they don't always have the developers update, or the publisher is usually the one that is responsible for doing any sort of updates, and sometimes they don't update them at all. But it looks like the bad actors here had a phishing campaign where they targeted publishers, got some sort of permission to get into their extension, and then they inserted the malicious code into the extension, which was stealing cookies and user access tokens from the users. So on with the story. It says the first company to shed light on the campaign was cybersecurity firm CyberHaven, one of whose employees was targeted by a phishing attack on December 24th, allowing the threat actor to publish a malicious version of the extension. On December 27th, CyberHaven disclosed that a threat actor compromised its browser extension and injected malicious code to communicate with an external command and control server located on the domain cyberhavennext.pro, download additional configuration files, and exfiltrate user data. The phishing email, which purported to come from Google Chrome Web Store, and that's always a big thing right there. Anytime you see that, Google Chrome Web Store developer support, always question emails you're getting from anything called support or help desk. It's a funny thing. I get emails from phishing people that are doing phishing, telling me that I have a new password reset for my email, or I have new email features. I'm not taking advantage of my email features. I am responsible for my own email. So they're trying to phish me, but they don't realize that I'm the administrator. They're acting like an administrator, but I'm the administrator. So those automatically get deleted and reported. So, but that's what phishing is. On with the story. It says, the phishing email, which purported to come from Google Chrome Web Store developer support, sought to induce a false sense of urgency by claiming their extension was at imminent risk of removal from the extension store, citing a violation of developer program policies. That's also very common. It also urged the recipient to click on a link to accept the policies, following which they were redirected to a page for granting permissions to malicious OAuth application named Privacy Policy Extension. The attacker gained requisite permissions via the malicious application and uploaded a malicious Chrome extension to the Chrome Web Store. CyberHaven said in a separate technical write-up. After the customary Chrome Web Store security review process, the malicious extension was approved for publication. So basically, they got phished. They fell for it, and they republished the extension with the new protocols that they were supposedly breaking fixed. But what they actually did was they ended up ended up inserting malicious code into the extension, which affected the users of the extensions. So here's the important part. Here are some of the extensions. Further investigation uncovered more extensions that are suspect of having been compromised. So here's a list of extensions that have been or are suspected of being compromised. So you just need to make sure that you check into that. And it's funny, there is a theme emerging here. A lot of AI type assistants and extensions here. So AI Assistant ChatGPT and Gemini for Chrome extension, Bard AI Chat extension for Chrome, GPT-4 summary with OpenAI, Search Copilot AI Assistant for Chrome, TinaMind AI Assistant, Weigh-In AI, VPN City, Internext VPN, VidNaz Flex Video Recorder. And you can pause the video here and read this, if you need to. And I will link to this article down below. Bookmark Favicon Changer, Casteros, UVoice, Reader Mode, Parrot Talks, Primus, Tacker, which is an online keylogger tool, AI Shop Buddy, Sort by Oldest, Reward Search Automator, ChatGPT Assistant Smart Search, Email Hunter, Keyboard History Recorder, Visual Effects for Google Meet, Ernie, which is earns you up to 20% cash back, Where's Cookie, Web Mirror, ChatGPT app, Hi AI, Web3 Password Manager, Yes CAPTCHA Assistant, Bookmark Favicon Changer, Proxy Switch, Omega V3, GraphQL Network Inspector, ChatGPT for Google Meet, GPT-4 summary with OpenAI. That's just a partial list. I'm sure there was others affected, but yeah. These additional compromised extensions indicate that Cyberhaven was not a one-off target, but part of a wide-scale attack campaign targeting legitimate browser extensions. So I won't read the rest. There's quite a bit here, and they do explain how things, how they actually do these things. So, but the main takeaway I want you all to have is that be careful with your Chrome extensions. Be careful with, definitely. I mean, this wouldn't be the user's fault. This is definitely the publisher's fault because they were the ones that were duped, and that's what makes it even worse because they're disseminating a malicious code to their user base, and they didn't even know it. So it's a bummer. So yeah, I will link that down below. So I want to get into Google again here. And this was very interesting. This is old news. This is from December 23rd. So I'm just covering it now. I wanted to cover it, but with Christmas and New Year's and all that, it was very difficult to get it covered. I just didn't have time. But I was very, very shocked to see that CNET of all places is covering this story. And I've given CNET garbage before, a mainstream media site, owned by mainstream big tech money. They are not my favorite outlet. But in this case, I give them credit for at least covering the story about Google and Google search. And the headline reads, Google search changes are killing websites in an age of AI spam. And this is going to go over, I'll read what I can here. I don't know that I'll read the whole thing, but I'm just very happy that someone else other than small publishers like myself are covering this story. And I will link to the story down below. And it's important for you guys to share this and also share our story when you share this. Say, hey, this is what Google's doing to the web. And it's affecting not only users, but it's affecting real people that are publishers in this space. And we could use your help. We could use your help on this because Google needs to know that it's not acceptable. Whoa, a little too far. So here's the subheadline. It says, Google's major search algorithm updates this past year have left many smaller websites with no other choice than to lay off staff. The internet is worse for it. So, like an ant scrambling to rebuild its home after being stepped on, a small website trying to grab Google's attention after falling off the company's search algorithm can feel helpless, and that is true. When Google ignores or drops you off search and you have no other, it literally is. It's very lonely not seeing the traffic that you normally are used to seeing because Google's algorithm has shut you out. So he's not lying there. Article goes on to saying that's how Brandon, I'm not going to pronounce Brandon, I'm sorry, but he's from Retro Dodo. Brandon has been one of the more vocal small publishers, and I appreciate his work and the way how he's stood up to Google and been a voice for all small publishers. So thank you, Brandon and Retro Dodo, for doing what you've done. Article goes on to say, that's how Brandon, owner of a handheld gaming website Retro Dodo, has been feeling since last September. That's when Google issued a major update that once again shifted the balance of how people find information online, a system that's always been somewhat precarious. The helpful content update, as Google calls it, was meant to elevate articles written by humans for humans, weeding out AI-generated articles and spam websites. Brandon's site is one of many smaller websites whose traffic dried up after the update, with some larger outlets seeming to be the major beneficiaries. Quote, tens of thousands of independent site owners have now been put into that funnel, and we can't seem to get out of it, said Brandon. When I interviewed him earlier this June, it's been 8 months now, most of us are all out of cash. Since the update, traffic to RetroDodo is down 90%, according to Google Search results performance data given to CNET by Brandon. He's had to lay off his entire staff except for an editor, his editor, Sebastian. As of October, RetroDodo's traffic remains a fraction of what it was. Brandon is pouring in his own cash to keep RetroDodo afloat. It doesn't help that he's recently added dad to his resume and is now having to juggle a diminishing financial situation and a newborn baby. His blog post in which he argues that Google is killing smaller sites like his went viral among the SEO community early this year and has brought him lots of attention. He's received a barrage of seemingly random tips from SEO experts. I don't know who to believe, said Brandon, and this is the issue of getting these audits and listening to the SEO industry because nobody knows what's going on. Google currently controls over... just a second, I'm going to comment on that with the SEO industry. And then Brandon says because nobody knows what's going on. And there are, I'm not going to badmouth SEOs, but there are a handful of SEOs who are predatory, and they make, well, there's more than a handful, but they give that industry a bad name. And I think that's been part of the problem with search is SEO and certain SEO practices that are done by predatory individuals. So, article goes on to say, Google currently controls over 86% of the global internet search market, and as a result, it's how content on most websites gets discovered. Unfortunately, there are bad actors always trying to elbow their way up to the top of Google search, using underhanded tactics meant to exploit the site's signals. It leads to constant back and forth between Google search engineers, issuing updates on spam sites, and then spam sites looking to find workarounds. And that is true. Unfortunately, like everything, there are bad actors and people out there who want to game the system, and rather than put the work in, and rather than be honest, they are deceptive, and they are looking to make a quick buck. And I understand Google's dilemma in that aspect, but there has to be a way to identify the bad actors and separate them from good small publishers like us and RetroDodo. There's got to be a way to be able to do that and not just throw a wide berth of a fishing net out and just pulling everything back in, including the ones that are good, and then disposing of not only the bad but the good too. So the article goes on to say it leads to a constant back and forth between Google search engineers. Okay. The prevalence of players trying to optimize for Google search has led to a degradation in quality results, according to a study by German researchers. This means more time spent weaving through websites trying to find good information online. Google's market share saw a slight dip earlier this year as TikTok and ChatGPT have exploded in popularity. In trying to remain the best place for finding information online, Google implemented generative AI features at the top of search pages that summarize the web's content in various ways. As Google tries to remedy these issues, regular and often smaller websites are getting caught in the crossfire. Google says that its ranking system won't be 100% precise, and that's fine, we get that. It is committed to improving and seeks feedback. Google also contended the merits of the German study, saying that it looked at a narrow segment of product reviews and that it has since rolled out updates to address these issues. The study does point out that Google has improved and does better than the competing search engines. A gladiatorial battle that Google presides over. So this is a very long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The gist of this is that this information is no longer independent and being held down into the spaces that we inhabit as independent publishers and small publishers. It's now in the mainstream media, which is CNET, and that's a good thing. So I am going to link to this article down below. I think this is a good thing. I think that more people knowing about what is happening with Google Search, with Google AI, with ChatGPT. If you use ChatGPT or you use some sort of AI for search, I want you to know that the information that those AIs that are giving you, ChatGPT and others, that's stolen information. Okay, the AIs are scraping websites and taking data from those websites and then spitting it out to you, and they don't link to us. They don't give us credit for it. They don't give you a click. And it's the same way with, like, for example, X, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, whatever. Elon does not want you to leave the platform. He downranks, the platform downranks links. So people are having to post a picture, a screenshot of a story, and then the link in a comment. But that's, most people don't go down to the second one. They'll just see the headline and they'll comment on that, and they'll never click out of X. And that's what Elon wants. That's what all these search engines want. They want to give you the snippets, and they want you to stay there, because that's we all, for the most part, the majority of the web earns money through ad revenue. And when someone can keep you on their website longer, the more ad revenue they generate. The more clicks they generate, the more revenue they generate. And so Google, that's what they want. They want you to never leave Google search. X never wants you to leave. Facebook never wants you to leave. So they're starting to downrank our links, and that way you don't come and visit. And, it's a battle. It's a battle for sure. So that is the latest on Google and what is happening with them. And I do want to say that through all of this, we really got hit very early in the year, right after CES last year, and we lost quite a bit of traffic. And if you look at, matter of fact, if you're watching, you'll see this here, right here. This performance on search results. Let me zoom in and leave it a little more. Oh, that's a little bit much there. All right. So if you see this is Nate Hawk, or Nate Hakey. Nate Hakey. This is his results for his performance, and I'm not pulling mine up, but this is for a website he has called Travel Lemming, and our chart looks almost identical to this. You'll see right here in August, boom, 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 we're doing, and then September came around and started dipping, and we did the same thing. We dipped down, and then we evened out, and then sometime in February, boom, just went down completely, almost to nothingness. And this is how most small publishers' traffic looks. If you ask someone to pull up their traffic and show it to you, this is exactly what the chart would look like for the most part for most small publishers. That's what mine looks like. So, I will say that in the past 3 or 4 days, I've seen a spike in traffic. It's not huge, but it has gone up a tick, and I am holding on to hope that this is a good thing, that it's a trend that's going to go up, and that we're visible again. I noticed that we've been shown in Google Discover again. We used to be shown in Google Discover quite a bit, and then it just died this year. And we lost all traffic to Discover and all traffic to Google News. But I am seeing a slight ping here and there on Discover and on Google News. So prayers. Keep praying for me. Pray for the site that continues and that we can have a recovery back to full capacity where we were last in 2023. 2024 was really, really hard. It has been hard, but I have not given up, and I am not going to give up. Heading to CES on Saturday night, and we'll start covering it on Sunday. I don't know how that's going to go. If I'm going to do articles, some videos, I don't know yet. Really, really difficult when you're a one-man band and having to do all the things. But stay tuned. I will definitely have some CES news coming out. So stay tuned at Techaeris.com. And hey guys, again, Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully you guys are going to have a blessed 2025, and hopefully you guys had a good Christmas with your families and your loved ones, and I had a good New Year as well. Stay tuned, and like I said, we're going to be doing more podcasting. I'm not stopping this podcast. I've been enjoying doing it, and hopefully you've enjoyed listening to it. I am trying to find a way to start maybe having a guest on or doing something different, because I'm sure you're not always listening all the way through, and it does get a little bit tiring to listen to one guy talk, about stuff. And I think it might be a nicer thing if I could find someone who I can chat with and we can do this together. And it might be interesting. Looking into it, so we'll see. First, we got to get through CES, and then we have MWC coming through Mobile World Congress, and lots of things happening. So if you haven't subscribed yet to whatever podcast platform you're listening on, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube or Rumble, please do that. Leave a comment below. I don't always comment back. I wish I could comment every comment made, but it's impossible. Please share. That's the biggest thing. Share. Spread the word. Let people know, hey, this is a dude he's a real dude. I'm not a corporation. I don't, it's the real deal here. So just share. Make sure you thumbs up and give us likes. All these things that are going to help. And I think that 2025 is really going to be a good thing for independent publishing and for alternative media in general. I think people are on the search and on the lookout for outlets like mine. And those of you that have known me for a while and have followed me for a while, please, I've asked for years for you to do this, and I know that you have, but do it again and just share, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if there is one, and make sure that you guys take care of each other. That's a big thing. A lot of crazy things happening right now in the world. Take care of each other, love each other, say hi to someone, smile, be kind. Let's try to, make a difference in that aspect. I don't think that, we're not in control of what's happening in the world. I'm not a politician. I don't have any sort of pull in that way, but I do have pull around, for the people around me, and so do you. So it goes a long way to be kind to your family, to each other, to a stranger out in the grocery store. However it may be, those little things matter. So be kind, and we will talk to you on the other side.